Now it is that your girl's recording. So shout out to Patrick CC dropping another banger on us. Bad Bunny got the last laugh. And of course, we're most likely going to be talking about Dr. Phil. Somebody commented on one of my videos talking about like, oh, Dr. Phil's corrupt and he's evil, all this other stuff, like, conspiracy things on like a complete, like, my video didn't even have nothing to do with Dr. Phil, and somebody dropped that tidbit on there, whatever. But without further ado, let's get into this damn video, y'all. Let's do it.
Danielle Bregoli was the laughingstock of the internet for years after her appearance on the Dr. Phil show. Her presumptuous attitude, attention-seeking tactics, and accused appropriation of black culture just made people despise her, but it also got her filthy rich. Danielle's career was literally handed to her, but unlike most people who get 15 minutes of fame, she turned it into an empire. This girl was a child when her worst moments were being broadcasted to the entire world. Today, she has transformed into someone we barely even recognize, but it was all a part of the plan. On September 14th, 2016, Dr. Phil aired the 8th episode of its 15th season, which featured a 13-year-old girl from Florida named Danielle Bregoli. Danielle was seemingly a typical teenager whose rebellious and delinquent behavior reached a point where her mother could not control her, knife-wielding, skipping school, and stealing cars for a quick joyride. She even stole a crew member's car while the episode was being filmed. Despite Danielle's obvious pitfalls, people were also pointing the finger at her mother. Mom, my daughter is so out of control and provocative. Also, Mom allows daughter to install a stripper pole in her bedroom. But the biggest problem her mother had was Danielle's love for violence. She liked to fight. It's important to note that the show producers encouraged Danielle to be as rambunctious as she could on camera, because it's more entertaining. At one point, Danielle even challenged her own mother to a fight on the set, but she also challenged anyone else in the audience to throw some hands.
Catch me outside, how about that? Huh? Catch me outside, how about that?
Nobody wanted to go the rounds with Danielle, but these 6 words would drastically change her life forever. Her manufactured black scent that she claims is due to her being from the streets made the phrase "catch me outside, how about that" sound like "catch me outside, how about dat." And I don't think I've ever seen something more viral in my life. Your parents, maybe even your grandparents, know about this iconic catchphrase. She became a social media sensation known as the "Cash Me Outside girl." Danielle was used by boomers as confirmation bias to prove that Gen Z is a bunch of entitled brats. But even Gen Z was laughing at her because they knew she was their generation's jester. It was like this perfect moment where all generations, all walks of life came together to agree that the "Cash Me Outside girl" was a joke. The Dr. Phil YouTube channel gained 8 million views in 1 month from the clip of Danielle's episode. To this day, the channel has accumulated over 200 million YouTube views just from Danielle's appearances on the show. But the crazy part is, Danielle didn't even know she was the laughingstock of the internet at the time. Dr. Phil had Danielle transported to the Turnabout Ranch after her episode. Turnabout Ranch is neither owned nor operated by Dr. Phil, but is an independent residential treatment center for troubled youth located in Utah.
That's a problem already for me. So you mean to tell me it is you sent this minor to a ranch to where it is not even you orchestrate? That does not sit right with me. Looking back at this of like, a lot of TV shows, they did stuff like this. Like my mom used to watch, you know, Dr. Phil, Maury, all this other stuff. And just like, yeah, this is what happens when it is disobedient children don't listen to their parents. Okay, cool. But when you send your child off into these, you expose them to people it is who do not have your child's interests at heart. Meaning it is they're going to be put into these situations of physical harm, you know, sexual harm, all these emotional harm, all these different types of things. And you just sent them off hoping it's like, oh yeah, it's going to change them. Yeah, it's going to change them. All right. Like you for the worse. So this is a bit of a problem for me. I didn't know it is that you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know it is he had no affiliation with this damn ranch. I was like, what's the point?
The ranch is a therapeutic program that aims to help teenagers and young adults dealing with behavioral and emotional issues. Danielle didn't get to experience her newfound wave of clout since she didn't have access to social media or a cell phone while in Utah. After she returned home, she opened social media and was shocked.
At first I didn't know how to handle it. I was just like, my instinct was to like
cuss everyone out who said it to me.
Since her Dr. Phil episode was the most successful episode of all time, it only made sense for his producers to bring her back on the show. In February of 2017, just 4 months after her original appearance, she returned to Dr. Phil to a studio without an audience where they discussed her time at Turnabout Ranch. She said her time there was fine before expressing that she was happy that she went. We would later find out that she was lying, and her time at the ranch was much darker and more sinister than she was comfortable admitting. She also said that Dr. Phil was nothing before she came on the show, which prompted even more people to continue making memes about the bratty child. The memes prompted hip-hop.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie though. You know, that's a bold thing to say, but she's not wrong though. That episode brought that nigga a lot of views. So she both for saying it at 13.
Pop producer
But she
DJ
ain't wrong.
Suede, the remix god, to make a song sampling her infamous catchphrase. Suede's trap beat titled Catch Me Outside sits at over 60 million views on YouTube, but we realized the true power of the meme when this song peaked at number 72 on the Billboard Hot 100. A meme trap beat spent 3 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. 2017 was wild. Danielle and her mother, Barbara, sued DJ Suede over unpaid royalties for the
rightfully
remix.
so, yeah,
Barbara
I was
alleged that
expecting
the DJ
that.
and his manager exploited her daughter after they agreed to let them use her voice and popular catchphrase on the record. According to legal documents obtained by TMZ, Danielle accepted a deal where she would get half of the remix profits. However, Barbara alleged that DJ Suede refused to pay them their royalties. Suede responded to the lawsuit saying, "My team and lawyer already read y'all the contract several times for months, and we have everything on paper. How about that?" He added, shaking my head, 15 minutes went by pretty fast, huh? Ironically, it was actually DJ Suede whose 15 minutes of fame that he got from Danielle was over, because the world was about to be introduced to Bhad Bhabie, whose fame was about to last a whole lot longer than 15 minutes. But this break from today's sponsor will only last about a minute, so hear me out. Have you ever Googled your name and seen yourself on one of those strange sites that has way too much information about you? Feels pretty weird. I'd really rather that kind of stuff not be available to anyone who's looking for it. Data brokers are making tons of money selling your information to robocallers and spammers. That's
I can't believe niggas bought her OnlyFans soon as she came of age. Are we really surprised here? Are we really surprised here? Are we really surprised here? It's like any child star goes ahead and they get of age and they say this like, oh, I'm gonna make an OF. You know what I mean? It's gonna be the same thing. Now, of course, we gotta look into the level of what that is. You know what I'm saying? With that strong wording, I would love to just drop as of right now that y'all know what it is that I'm talking about. That of those people looking at this minor, you know what I'm saying, and thinking that, oh, once it is she get of age, there's a strong wording for that. You know what I'm saying? And locked in millions, you know. This is why it is when I hear people have these conversations of just like, oh, OF is terrible, this and this. Who be on it the most? Niggas. Come on now.
That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura can find the data brokers that are sharing your information, and these brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to. However, they make it very difficult to do so. That's where Aura comes in and submits opt-out requests for you. You can try Aura free for 2 weeks using my link, aura.com/PatrickCC. Aura also does so much more to protect you, like antivirus, VPN, password manager, identity theft protection, credit monitoring, and much more. The best part is you get everything at one affordable price. Let Aura protect your information and keep you safe online. You can let people continue to exploit you and profit off your private information, or you can go to aura.com/PatrickCC to start your 2-week free trial. Link is in the description. Thanks, Aura. In January of 2017, music manager Adam Kluger heard Catch Me Outside on the radio and knew she could be a star. He reached out and arranged an appointment with Danielle and her mother. I said, "I want to manage you. Give me some time. I'll make you a star. I'll make you guys rich. We want to make this thing happen." With no hesitation, they were like, okay, done. They had no clue what that meant. Colger wanted to take advantage of Danielle's bad girl persona and take this villain, relentless, crazy attitude kid and just brand her as this supervillain. She's going to be the one that the kids have to hide from their parents. Wanting to find a way to turn followers into money, Adam solicited the help of Dan Roof, the founder of a digital firm named Flute. Dan came on board as Danielle's digital manager, booking live appearances and setting up sponsorship deals. The same week Danielle reappeared on Dr. Phil, she starred in Kodak Black's music video for Everything 1K. day. This video was literally just Kodak's song with Danielle flexing cash, wearing grills, and sitting on a Rolls Royce while mouthing Kodak's lyrics, which prompted the video to gain almost 50 million views. On her trip home from LA, Danielle boarded a Spirit Airlines flight where she and her mother got into a fight with a passenger. But as other camera angles were released, it seemed like the passenger was potentially the aggressor and Danielle was just defending her mom.
Right.
Wake up! You want to be black?
Did she say what? Hold on. What word did you just say? What word did you just say? Did you say wigga?
And Danielle was just defending her mom.
Yo, you're not gonna take all of the F. Wake up!
She really said wigga. Wow. Yeah, she was definitely the aggressor in that one. Like, and mind you, it is, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I heard the word Spirit Airlines, it's like, ooh, baby. I can't even blame you. I have to blame the mom on that one. Why would you take her on? Why would you take this known persona child on this damn Spirit Airlines? I can't say it. I don't want to say it is like, you know, that's what's expected on Spirit Airlines, but there'd be a lot of BS that happens on Spirit Airlines, boy. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like this passenger here honestly started it with Danielle, you know, and unfortunately, because of the fact she didn't see the level of that fame immediately until after the fact, people easily could have got a private flight. True. But a lot of people, like, you know, this is a further lesson of being learned that everybody it is who become an internet sensation are just regular people like you and I, you know, regular people like you and me. But when you start moving the same way how it is that you did, as if like nothing happens, this is where it is you get put into situations like this. People start saying these things of how it is that you got famous. You know, for example, you know, the amount of times that Arby's video got so damn viral at the point that, like, you know, at DreamCon, I still to this day get people be like, oh yeah, you know, I had some Arby's, you know what I'm saying? Just because they know it's gonna resonate a reaction. That's why people do it. So this, I feel like it is, yeah, like you was trying to get a flight to go everywhere it is that you need to go, but you gotta move and shake a little differently. You know what I'm saying? Can't be the same way.
Danielle and her friends got into another fight with random people one Saturday night in Lake Worth, Florida. Then in April, she was cited for possession of marijuana in Boynton Beach. The 14-year-old was unsupervised, out of control, and on top of that, being ridiculed by random people on the streets.
Exactly.
It was a recipe for disaster.
Exactly.
It also became increasingly obvious that her mother was no longer interested in helping Danielle once she realized she could make money from her daughter's delinquency. But despite her bad behavior, she was cultivating a real fan base through YouTube, where she uploaded consistent reaction videos showcasing more of her brazen personality that were generating over 1 million views per video.
If you had a child and a hoe tried you in front of them, what would you do? I would go to my car, turn on my car, put the air on in the car, strap my kid into their seat, and go beat the f***ing life out of that.
Her manager also knew that she had some rapping ability. And let's be honest, in 2017, at the height of the Lil Pump and Lil Xan era, you didn't need much skill. Plus influencers like Rice Gum and Jake Paul were gaining unimaginable view counts on their terrible music. Colger proceeded to book studio time for Danielle, but she was hesitant at first. I was like, I don't want to put these headphones on. I don't want to get in this booth. But then she had a change of heart. I was like, I'm prettier than all these people in here. I looked at the people in the room and I was like, I'm better than you. I can do this. I'll be fine. I won't look stupid. Soon, she was in a meeting opposite Atan Ben Horan, the global head of artists and repertoire at Warner Music Group. Ben put together a team of 14 writers and producers to work on Danielle's first professional single, High Bid. They started her music rollout with a track called These Hoes, which peaked at number 77 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, making Danielle the youngest female rap artist to debut on the Hot 100. It also made Bhabie the third youngest solo artist of all time to chart on the Hot 100, behind JoJo and Stevie Wonder. The track's success led to Danielle signing a record deal with Atlantic Records. She then remixed Kodak Black's Roll in Peace and T Grizzly and Lil Yachty's From D to the A, but even her biggest haters could not deny her second debut single, High Bit, which reached number 68 on the Billboard Hot 100, while the music video accumulated over 200 million views since its initial upload. The song was eventually certified platinum less than 5 months later. Most people on the internet were calling her music trash, but the numbers didn't lie. Plus, she wasn't afraid of criticism.
She's low-key smart, okay? I'm not gonna say she's smart because she's a little bitch.
I'm a little bitch. I'm a bitch, but you're the one sitting in the busted ass chair with your busted ass forehead, with your busted ass face, and your busted room. So why are you coming for me?
Rappers like Lil Yachty voiced their support for her career, which was followed by a collaboration titled Gucci Flip Flops that peaked at number 79 on the Billboard Hot 100 before receiving a platinum certification. Her string of success led to Bhad Bhabie receiving a nomination at the 2018 Billboard Music Awards for Best Female Rap Artist, alongside Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Over the next few months, Bhabie collaborated with artists like Ty Dolla $ign, YG, Lil Baby, City Girls, Charlie XCX, and Asian Doll. She announced her Band in the USA tour across North America and Europe, where she sold out various 150 to 500 person venues in nearly every city she visited. But whenever she had some positive momentum, she would revert back to her old self. In peak 2018 tomfoolery, Bhad Bhabie runs into her arch nemesis Woah Vicky, accompanied by the infamous Lil Tay for a good old-fashioned scrap. But all we got was high-pitched screaming and standing behind grown men pretending like they actually wanted to fight.
Come on, touch me. I want you to hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. If you hit me, I'll hit me. I'm right here. I'm right here. You coming at me, so you hit me. You're so about it. You're so about it. You're so big and bad.
This was huge news at the time, but this would not be their final battle. Danielle announced a 6-month deal with Copycat Beauty, getting paid $900,000 to promote the brand's products on her social media and music videos. She then signed a 12-episode deal for a reality show called Bringing Up Baby. The show premiered in February of 2019 on Snapchat as one of their many Snap originals. The first episode showcased her life behind the scenes and the hurdles she encountered amid her rise in the industry. This show reportedly earned over 10 million viewers in its first 24 hours. To compare, at the time, Keeping Up with the Kardashians was only getting 1.5 million views per episode. TMZ reported that Danielle made well over $10 million during 2019 due to her reality show. And although
as much as people want to hate this girl so badly, man, she's smart. Smart. How many people is under 18 was racking in that type of money? Yes, the behavior, you know what I'm saying, is questionable. But I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad. Them numbers ain't lying. The math is mathing, bro. Fudge. I can't even be mad at this girl at all. It's very smart parlay move.
many still saw Danielle as the snobby kid from Dr. Phil, capitalizing on her 5 seconds of fame, the fan base she gained
ain't
was
no 5 seconds no more.
Maybe her fans saw her as a troubled teen who was misunderstood and taken advantage of as a child. Maybe they didn't see someone desperate for attention and rather someone who was unapologetically themselves. But there was no denying that she was still a loudmouth kid who always managed to find her way into trouble. At Cardi B's Fashion Nova launch party, Danielle decided to throw a drink of water on Iggy Azalea. Iggy seemingly had no idea what happened, nor did she really seem to care. It looked like Danielle pre-planned the attack while hiding behind her bodyguards and trying to make a spectacle, but Iggy did not cave. Danielle claimed that Iggy was talking crazy about her on Instagram. She was referring to a Shade Room Instagram post that asked, "Who is going to see Bhad Bhabie on tour?" And Iggy commented, "Are you?" Iggy responded to the incident.
I get that this little girl has made a name for herself acting a damn fool on television and online.
Ooh. You know, now that I really think about this and like hearing rapper version of Iggy and hearing this voice, boy, I almost was just like, who is this woman? I almost slipped up and said this. I don't think it is I've ever really heard Iggy like talk. Because if you hear her rap, it is somewhat of like an accent that's put on there. So I know she's Australian, but I haven't heard her actual like voice. I only heard rapping her, you know. And then when she was doing modeling, you don't hear any type of voice. You just see the, you know. I actually think it is her modeling career was just, you know, like beautiful. But every time it is I've heard the accent, I've gotten so accustomed to hearing that level of that's how it is that she talks. Maybe that's a little bit of blind ignorance on my part, but I genuinely did not. I've never heard her voice before outside of rapping.
But I'm a grown up. I'm not about to waste my energy on that shit or be fighting a kid in a club.
Azalea handled the
bad.
situation like an adult, just making Danielle look even more childish and immature. Danielle also had a habit of making drama about her when nobody was directing hate towards her in the first place. In an interview with People, Jermaine Dupri, legendary songwriter and record producer, expressed his disappointment with the female rap game. They all rapping about the same thing. I don't think they're showing us who is the best rapper. For me, it's like strippers rapping. While these comments triggered responses from several women in the industry, Bhabie specifically replied, Jermaine Dupri can suck my been like 10 years since Bow Wow. Sit down, grandpa. Since Danielle was on
Damn.
top of the game, she was able to run her mouth. She wasn't topping the charts, but her music videos and songs were still accumulating tens of millions of YouTube views. And she was consistently collaborating with every major industry rapper. But she was burning bridges with people who might be able to help her once her hype dies down. And as we approached 2020, people were getting really tired of Bhad Bhabie. But they did enjoy seeing her get beat up by her biggest op, Whoa Vicky. A brawl between Danielle and Whoa Vicky occurred during a recording session in Atlanta. TMZ got a hold of the footage from the fight where it seemed as though Vicky got the best of Danielle. Bhabie later took to social media saying, anyone who says I got beat up is delusional. This girl ain't hit me one time. She grabbed my hair and somehow ended up on top of me. The whole time my face stayed untouched. Every normal person observing this situation is wondering why these girls are hanging out with nothing but grown men who are filming them while they physically assault each other. But once Danielle posted a
That's
video
true.
to Instagram wearing box braids, the conversation around her cultural appropriation finally needed to be discussed. People were noticing Danielle slowly transforming her image and accused her of blackfishing, because she was sporting traditionally black hairstyles and even tanning/darkening her skin to a point where some people might even mistake her as non-white. This look Danielle is going for is now considered to be the beauty standard
Yeah,
in
this
pop
was the
culture.
part where I'm just like,
However,
oh,
for the
oh,
longest time,
whoa.
black people, specifically black women, were demonized and ridiculed for their hair, skin, AAV accent, and all other physical features that they were born with. Now that black women's natural features are being praised in our society, white women like Danielle can just put on a wig, tan their skin, get lip fillers and surgical procedures to reap all the benefits of being black, but also just transform back into being white whenever they want.
But the problem is, it's not just her. This is plenty of people it is that do this. Even regular everyday people who are not celebrities do stuff like this. And it's not just it is not just within it's any culture. It could be it could happen in any culture. You know what I mean? It don't take much for you to go to an esthetician or go to a doctor that specializes within fillers and Botox and all of that other stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Like, have I done Botox before? Yes, I've done it. But it's a level of keeping up with those things. Now, one thing I don't need is lip filler. Obviously, it is your girl got big lips. And you know what I'm saying? Again, this is something it is we used to get teased about. We used to get teased about having the, you know, talking all like, you know what I'm saying, like popping and everything like that with our mouths or with our fingers or whatever the case is, having a certain level of long nails, big lips, having like big like adult features and like, you know, being fully developed at young ages and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, this is something it is that's always been like a problem. It is we've constantly have talked about. We've constantly have voiced our opinions about with this of like, yo, why is it now it's socially accepted to do this? But let alone for somebody that me like myself who literally grew up with big lips, who grew up with this type of hair. Now everybody else wants to go ahead and do it. Now I'm not gonna shit on anybody, but if you are purposely trying to act as if like something is you're not. Now a lot of people got that woman's name? I think it's Rachel something. She was the president of eyeshadow. She was the president of uh NW NWA. Yes, her. Rachel Dolezal. Yes, her. A lot of people was really on her case too about like, oh, she's not even black. This and this. I'm like, Listen, I do know how many people it is that within HBCUs administration. I've seen people it is who are white. I've seen people it is who are Asian descent. I've seen a lot of people it is walks of life that go to HBCUs, you know? And she's actually trying to help niggas. That's what confused me. I'm like, why are we getting on this woman because of the fact, you know what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, she wanted to go ahead and put a little bit of, you know, cultured hair mixed in with her hair to get them braids. Cool, that's fine, but like, damn, at least it is she was really trying to help out the community, you know? And it got so bad to the point this woman had to change her name legally and started going to OF. And niggas still leaked it. Like, damn.
Danielle addressed the criticism with an Instagram story. To all the black females that are saying my hair ain't meant for box braids, guess what? Y'all hair ain't meant to be straight, but y'all glue wigs onto your heads and sew Brazilian, Indian, and Peruvian hair, which is anything like your natural hair texture. She then
See, this is why it is. I ain't taught my shit because my hair is glued. So you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sit there and talk shit on her. You know what I'm saying? If she wanted to go ahead and do it, if other people wanted to go ahead and do it, then why can't it is I go ahead and put this wig on my goddamn head? You know? Not gonna lie, I thought she was a light-skinned black until I saw her parents. Imagine your parents telling you though, like you sitting there, you really try to like you got like everybody's believing it, just like dang, you know, like you really are black, like you just light skinned because there are some light skinned people who look like that, who can pass as that, and then it's just like nope, the parents come through. I would have, I mean, honestly, I would have had to tell them this. I have never met those people before. I don't even know who it is that they are. Like y'all don't believe in the vision.
goes to deny the cultural appropriation and follow that up with, I love the way I look, plus your man agrees. And we all know I look fine AF with any hairstyle I do from any culture because I'm just that girl. I hope y'all bald-headed hoes stay up all night thinking about this. Every time she opened her mouth, it just got worse.
I don't act black. I don't know what you're talking about. Who wants to be black? I don't understand that.
After this controversy, she remained pretty quiet until summer of 2020 when news broke that she entered a rehab facility at an undisclosed location where she'd received treatment for a combination of things, including childhood trauma and substance abuse in the form of prescription pills. Her management team told TMZ, "We are very proud of Danielle for recognizing that she needed help and seeking it out." Following her release from rehab, Danielle continued her journey of healing and self-development when she posted a YouTube video breaking her silence about the Turnabout Ranch.
Dr. Phil, I am going to give you from now till April 5th to issue an apology, not only to me, but to Hannah and any other child that you sent to Turnabout or any other program like this. And if you don't, I'm gonna handle things my way.
Danielle had played the villain character her whole life, and now she was starting to gain sympathy from the internet. Danielle was inspired to share her story after a woman named Hannah Archuleta came forward a month earlier, claiming that she was sexually assaulted by a staff member at Turnabout Ranch. Hannah was also sent to the ranch by Dr. Phil in 2019 when she was 17 years old. The Turnabout Ranch is one of the many wilderness programs that take place in rural Utah. If you watch my video about Chet Hanks, who was also sent to a Utah camp, or if you watch the Netflix documentary Hell Camp, then you know all about the horrors of these programs. But if you don't know, wilderness therapy programs are a major part of the multi-billion-dollar troubled teen industry, which also includes therapeutic boarding schools and residential treatment centers. These programs are designed for adolescents struggling with issues like drug dependency, depression, poor grades, low self-confidence, ending thoughts, and eating disorders. The idea is to isolate them in the middle of nowhere America to remove them from their privileges, then provide therapy and give them wilderness experiences like hiking, camping, or working on a ranch in hopes that it will allow them to recognize how good their home life actually is. However, these experiences mostly consist of doing manual labor for hours on end, and over the years there have been hundreds.
So child labor. So child labor. Not even when you have working papers, it is, you know, at the age of 14. I think it's 14. Well, I have my working papers at 14. I'm gonna say 16 as a classification within this case. So you're putting a minor, somebody that is under 18, having them do, they're getting out my business, having them do manual labor for long periods of time. And you gotta classify that for what that is. You gotta classify that for what that is, legally speaking. And I'm going based off of what it is. I remember it. This may have changed, but who knows? Most of the people it is who are under 18 can't work an 8-hour shift. They can able to do 4, you know. I wasn't able to do those levels of shifts like that until it is I got of age. then I was able to go ahead and like, work all day and stuff like that because I was of age. But this I'm not too keen on this because this level of like, oh, they're gonna think about how good their life is at home. Yeah, anybody would. Even at an adult age, me, you put me in some shit that I'm doing hard labor all day. I'm gonna be like, oh, I can't wait to go home too. What we talk about?
Hundreds, thousands of reports of staff members abusing, hazing, humiliating, sleep depriving, sexually assaulting, drugging, and doing some of the most horrific things to these teenagers. Danielle experienced and witnessed similar horrors during her time there when she was just 13 years old. But the worst of all was witnessing a murder.
One morning
Oh.
I was cleaning up for breakfast, and one of the staff members was sitting right next to me, and she had her walkie on her, so I heard everything. One of the kids, he had tried to steal a car or something. Everyone was screaming on the walkies like it was really crazy, and he ended up killing one of the staff members. They made all the kids that were at Roundy come down, and then they told us not to tell us anything. A day later, they have us all every kid that's at Turnabout, they have us all sit in a circle, and they're like, listen, there was an incident, I know some of y'all heard it over the walkies, Jimmy died.
And you would think that with such appalling accusations that Dr. Phil would denounce the Turnabout Ranch.
We don't have anything to do with what happens with guests once they leave the stage. I mean,
But he just
That's a problem. I see why it is that he went ahead and was just like not part of this because when something like that goes down, he could legally it is that he could say that is like I have nothing to do with that. So whatever it is that happened there is what happened there, and I don't like that. I don't like it. Fake ass TV therapist. Oh my gosh, that sounded like I said TB, but it's TV. Um, yeah, I don't like this. I do not like this. That's a that's a way of it is that you know exactly what be going on at those ranches, but you don't care for that because as long as it is that it gives you the ratings and the views and oh you're going ahead and helping a troubled teen out and this is and this that's what this is why I had a problem with this because I always felt like this was a level of fake growing up and it's just like oh yeah like they went to some type of like level of boot camp or beyond scared straight or something like that and it's just like oh I'm now I listen to my parents and I do all my chores and stuff like that. No, there was some shit that happened there that they don't feel comfortable talking about or they can't talk about openly like that on national TV.
played dumb. However, Danielle proved that Dr. Phil is in fact involved with the people he sends there after the show.
My mother signed a consent of release of information to send progress reports directly from Turnabout to the Dr. Phil show. So when you say you don't have any fucking feedback from them, that is not true.
Danielle added that she doesn't believe that Dr. Phil is unaware of what really happens behind closed doors at the ranch. Plus, a murder did take place at this ranch. You would think that at the very least Dr. Phil would stop recommending it as a precautionary measure, but he continues to praise the ranch.
we sent this young woman to Turnabout Ranch, which is a very serious, responsible place for kids to go to get their values straight and get their heads on right. Try to be an emotional compass and point parents in a direction.
What fucking direction is that? Sexual abuse, murders, and fucking torture? That's the direction? Oh, that's phenomenal. Start your to-do list, parents. Have your kid watch somebody
What's
get
up,
murdered,
sis?
have them get sexually assaulted, and have them get tortured. They'll come out great.
Even if Dr. Phil is innocent, maybe he should consider
That shouldn't have made me laugh. But she's right. She's absolutely positively right. How is this helping? I've always talked about this like beforehand. It's like, how is this helping out a teen? You bringing them what a parent think is like, they're being disobedient and stuff like that. You putting them on national TV, and then now it is you're humiliating. You're publicly humiliating that child. You put it now the whatever business that go on in the house. Now you're bringing it out for everybody else to have their opinion and say certain things about with you and your kid and get on, say a whole bunch of stuff about how much of a bad parent you are all along with the bad child. Then you send them out into these so-called retreats and you don't know what the hell is going on. They could write down anything within those progress reports. And they could be witnessing all different types of shit. So, others came out with Danielle, so it's not just her that openly, sadly, one self oh, see that I didn't even know. See, that's a problem.
investigating these facilities before using his massive platform to endorse them, which is why people conspire that he might have some sort of financial interest that benefits him every time a child is sent to the camp. It was after this expose that the narrative surrounding Danielle's Dr. Phil episode and her whole persona started to change. She was 13. Wow, this is 100% bad parenting on the mom's part. I feel like Danielle was wronged her whole life. Also, she was 13 years old, and to be judged and hated like this instead of loved and nurtured on national television, that's just setting her up. All this time I thought this child was crazy. Now I realized it's her mom. Despite Danielle reversing her reputation to the public, Bhad Bhabie was broke. Nobody was interested in her music anymore. She had exhausted all of her antics to get attention, and she potentially burned bridges with people who could have helped her music career. Now she was only being seen as any other influencer on the internet. There was only one thing left to do to make a big bag. On April 1st, 2021, 6 days after her 18th birthday, Bhabie launched an OnlyFans account that earned over $1 million in revenue in the first 6 hours, including over $757,000 from subscriptions, $267,000 from message payments, and $5,000 in tips. Less than a month later, Bhabie claimed that she racked in over $50 million on OnlyFans before showing off her newly purchased $6.1 million home in Florida that she allegedly bought in cash. People were initially suspicious until she posted an income report with the caption, "Go cry about it." The screenshot showed a gross income of $52 million, with Bhabie taking home a net income of over $42 million. The main realization that people had from this was just how many thousands, maybe millions of people who had sexualized this child since she initially showed her face on the internet.
What do you think you're...
Locked them up. Locked them up. Locked them up. Locked them up. The whole time she didn't even talk to them. She had a team of people who were talking to strangers for her.
situation was that like made you pop off like that?
Well, I was kept covered for so long, right? Like with the how they were making me dress and and I was young.
It's so creepy.
It's creepy, but at the same time, like I'm not one of them people that's like, oh no, pedophilia is fine as long as they're like a little bit older. Like no. I still think it's weird, but at the same time, 18 is 18, and that's what they said it was, so that's what they said it was.
Danielle fully realized that it was because of her young age and being sexualized during her youth that allowed her to secure such a large fortune.
Like the news came out about how much money you made. People from so many different walks of lives that I knew were like, I'm getting an OnlyFans.
Her success inspired millions of women around the world to try and do the same. Unfortunately, almost none of them will even have a fraction of the success that Danielle had. Danielle admits that she doesn't think this career path is 1 billion% okay, but she got rich off of it, so she was willing to justify it. Now at age 20, Danielle has secured generational wealth. She is done with the antics, done with the attention seeking, and done being made fun of on the internet. Now she is seemingly settling down with a man who is not famous, and they are expecting their first child in 2024. Through all her controversies and antics, most people thought that she would end up broke, alone, and regretting her choices. Instead, she ended up filthy rich and settled down with a family. They laughed at her, but it looks like she's the one who got the last laugh.
You know, but hey, it is what it is. You know, I can't even be mad at this girl. I can't even be mad at her. And of course, we do have to understand this of just, you know, being a child and going through all of that. Like you know, that's really what fueled a lot of the anger that fueled a lot of that behavior. Because a lot of stuff, there's usually a source to why any child acts out to begin with. But I listen, W Patrick CC, W you guys in the chat, and W you at home. I will catch you in the next video.